Hey everyone, thank you so much for your interest tonight in learning more about the partnership between College and Beyond LLC and Student Discount. My name is Casey Woodard, and without getting too much into it, as you may have already read, I've created and discovered a pretty new way to save big on college, and I've partnered with College and Beyond LLC to be able to help anybody interested to save big on college, to get through quicker, cheaper, and better than they ever thought possible. So before we get too much into what the actual course is, why don't we take an overview about what you or your family's probably already discovered about college as you're getting into it and doing your research. So here right now is your world, or maybe a better way to put that is here's what college currently is. If you've already looked into some of the numbers and started doing some of the planning for how you or your student might afford it in the future, you've probably already found out that the average four-year degree is astronomically expensive, with a four-year degree at a private school costing over $200,000. And even though you can get over a 50% savings by going to an in-state public school, you're still looking at more of a six-figure purchase for just 4 years at a public school. Now, here's where it gets scary. The average four-year graduation rate at a private school is barely over 50%. And at a public school, it's even worse at just a third of graduates actually finishing within 4 years. So that $106,000 that you'd be spending at a public in-state school, that's on the cheap end if you're one of the lucky few who actually finishes within 4 years. And the other two-thirds of these people, they either take longer than 4 years or they just drop out entirely. So what does this have to do with actually planning for your future or maybe your students or your child's future? Well, it's knowing the fact that even if they're 18 years old and taking out a loan to pay for this school, it's going to take more than the 18 years they've already lived to actually pay off those student loans. So it does take the average person more than 18 and a half years to pay off what they paid for college, meaning that most people are well into their 30s or maybe almost 40 before the time they've even gotten out of the financial hole that they only paid for 4 years of education at a school. And what's even scarier here is that even before the pandemic, 40% of college graduates return to live back home after graduating, which means that the degrees that we are taking out all of this debt for are becoming less and less valuable because it seems that they're not even getting jobs that pay well enough to be able to get out from under our parents' houses and live on our own. And so 40% of college graduates, that's about half of them, don't even move out after graduating because it's created such a strain and such a financial burden to be able to pay for their degrees. And 53% of graduates are either unemployed or they're working a degree or they're working a job that doesn't even require a bachelor's degree. So over half of people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars and taking almost 2 decades to pay off a loan for a degree that either didn't benefit them or they didn't even need. That's what the current college system has come to. But it doesn't have to, because here was my world. I was able to take college classes for $89 each. Yes, that is completely real. That is an actual number, and I could show you on a receipt. I took college classes and got credit for just less than $100 each. Got all of my textbooks for free. And here's what you could do as well. Graduated 100% debt-free at just 19 years old with my bachelor's degree. And how does this pertain to you? Well, now I'm teaching other people how they can do the exact same thing. So this might sound too good to be true, but first let's just dig into what the difference is. Sure, I graduate 19 years old, paid a little bit less, but how big of a difference does this actually make? Well, here's what I like to call a tale of two students. We'll have student A, who spends $120,000 on their degree, graduates at 23 years old, which is pretty average, versus student B, who they spend $60,000 on a degree instead of $120,000, and they graduate at 21 years old. So they spend half as much money and they graduate 2 years before student A does. And they take that extra $60,000 and they invest it. So both of them save $5,000 per year after they graduate, we can pretend. Student A at 23 and student B at 21. And let's just say, for math's sake, they get an 8% return on their savings until the age of 65. So the only difference is that student B has that extra 60,000 they spent less 60,000 less on college, and then they started saving 2 years before student A did. How much more will student B have than student A at age 65? So remember, they only invested $70,000 more. But because of compound interest, they'll have over $2 million more at the age of 65 just because they spent $60,000 less on college and they were able to graduate early so they could start saving early. Now, here's where it gets mind blowing. Let's pretend these two students actually spent the same amount on college. So, what would the long term difference of graduating 2 years early and saving that $5,000 per year for 2 years before the other student did? How much of a difference would that make? So, there really should only be about a $10,000 difference, right? Because, student B just graduated 2 years earlier and they saved $5,000 a year for 2 years more than student A did. So there shouldn't be a huge difference, right? Wrong. Student B will have $284,316 more simply because they invested a little bit money more at a younger age. So there's planning when you're young and doing things right when you're young can have a huge difference when you're older. So as you can see by these huge differences from when you're young can make, that's key point number one. You're not crazy for being stressed out over planning well for college because the decisions you make when you're 20 or 21 are going to have a huge impact at 65. And here's key point two. It's not too late to turn things around, even if you're already in college. The sooner you can start making the right decisions, the more likely you are to be on the right track when it matters. And for example, here's what I was like in high school. Sure, we talked about me graduating college at 19, but in high school, I failed math, science, and history all in the same year. That was me in high school. I did not care about anything. I didn't care about my grades. I just hated being there, didn't care one bit. But in college, I started at 18, just like everyone else, and graduated magna cum laude at 19, while working 2 part-time jobs. And I was able to graduate with my master's in finance just 4 months after 21. And perhaps most importantly, spent just a fraction of the sticker price on my degrees. So this is a bit of a background about who I was in high school and college and how much college planning matters. But let's get to the actual important part. How does this affect you? Well, most importantly, it affects you because anyone can do this, including you. And how can you do it? Well, that's why we're here tonight, is to discuss the new partnership between College and Beyond and student discount for this online course, which will have everything you need to know how to graduate early, win more scholarships, and get huge savings on college. We already showed how graduating just a little bit early can mean difference of literally $2 million by the time you're 65. And we want to show step by step just how anybody can do that to get out of that pit of taking out a loan for a degree that you don't need, aren't going to use, and won't even get you out of your parents' house by the time you graduate because it's worth less and less, even though you have to spend more and more. So what exactly is student discount? Well, the College and Beyond and Student Discount online course is this step-by-step guide on how to save the most money on college possible. Now, you probably are already wondering, since you're the type of person who's interested in this, you've probably already read everything there is to know. Doesn't everybody already know how to save money on college? If you're a money conscious parent or a student, you've probably read all of the blogs and maybe even a book or two about how to save money. So I have as well, obviously, because I'm in the space. And I wanted to know, what do all these blogs and books and everything everybody is reading about how to save money in college? What do they have to say about saving money on college? Because I would think everybody did know how to save on college. So right here, let's go on Google and type in how to save money on college, and let's see what comes up. So I'll scroll down here and let's just click on the first link. I would assume the first link would have the best information. So top 10 ways to save money. Don't buy new textbooks. Don't leave home without your student ID. So good idea, get those student discounts. Limit the amount of meals you eat out. Choose your housing wisely. See what campus amenities you can have. Don't own a car. Cars are expensive. See if your local bank has checking accounts without fees. Monitor your cell phone usage so you don't spend too much money. Don't be careless with credit cards. That's a very good tip. Those can really do some damage. And do stay focused on your studies. So these are all great tips. I would argue with absolutely none of them. But in case you didn't pick up, what does almost all how to save money on college advice have in common? It's that it's almost never about how to spend less on your actual degree. It's all about how to small different ways to save $50 here or there. And sure, that $50 savings will add up, but it doesn't make much of a dent on an 100,000 or more purchase. I agree. You shouldn't be careless with credit cards. You should find ways to spend less on housing. You should definitely use a checking account that isn't charging you fees. But do you really think that that $5 each year that you're not spending on checking account fees is going to go a far way in the huge purchase that you've already made on college? Not really. Well, that's not what Student Discount, the online course, is. Instead, in the College and Beyond Student Discount online course, we will actually cover ways to spend less on college, not just in it. We talk about strategies to get a head start in high school, how to choose a college, how to choose a major, how to save time and money on classes during college, how to develop the time management skills necessary to actually implement these steps, because in case you wouldn't think, graduating early will involve some extra work, and you're going to have good time management to do so. It'll teach you how to get all of your textbooks for free. And yes, actually, I will show you how to get all of them completely for free, and so much more. So in terms of the things that actually consists of, the College and Beyond the College and Beyond Student Discount online course consists of 9 distinct topics broken down into 44 lessons, which all equates to 2.5 hours of go at your own pace content, guaranteed to help you maximize your savings on college. Now, do be aware, this course isn't for everyone. If saving 50% or more in college was easy, obviously everyone and their mother would already be doing it. There wouldn't be multi-trillions dollars of student loan debt. People wouldn't be having their lives effectively ruined or diminished just so they could have a degree, which is clearly not being used by them. If this was easy, everyone would know how to do it and it wouldn't be of a concern. But the problem is it isn't. It also isn't just a few tips and tricks, because if so, they would have showed up on that Google result. Everyone would know them if it was just a few tips and tricks. There are tips and tricks, but they require effort. This course isn't for the student who won't put in the effort. So if you or your student want to know how to do this, but they're not willing to put in a bit of extra work, this isn't for you. Save your time, save your money, do school the old way and get the same results everybody's always been getting. But a little extra effort will result in a huge reward. Like we said at the beginning, graduate a little bit early, start working a little bit sooner, extra $2 million. And obviously that was just for example's sake, but as you can see, the younger you do things right, the bigger the reward over the long term. So that's who this course isn't for, is it's not for someone not willing to put in the effort. But who is it for? Well, we decided we were going to break down a few questions to see if this is the sort of thing that is right for you or your student. 1, are you planning for college and you find the investment of time and money concerning and intimidating? 2, are you willing to commit to working 25% harder during college if it means that you save $50,000 or more on your degree? And 3, do you find the idea of graduating college and entering the real world at 20 or 21 something that's exciting or interesting? Well, if you answered yes to those questions, this is the course for you. And we're not just saying that. We wanted to take time to put people through this course to actually see what they have to say about it. So what are students who have already taken this course saying? And these are all actual students who were not paid, were not given this course for free. They all paid for everything, and they still are saying this about how well it went. Carson from Southern Methodist is saying that as someone who is halfway through his 4 years at a private university, I can attest to the importance of using high school to earn college credit and scholarships. I wish I had a guide like this when I was making my college decision. Even now, I am pleasantly surprised at how useful this is for a college junior like myself. I was forced to review my financial situation. I highly recommend this for anyone who is considering a higher education and wants a clear and concise explanation of all possibilities, including the most realistic and transparent stats. And like he said, he's already in college and showing this is not too late. Robert from University at Buffalo said anyone contemplating a college education needs to take notes. Casey provides a no-nonsense, very practical, and well-organized method of greatly reducing the cost burdens associated with it. Sign up for his online course and get the firsthand knowledge of how to get your college degree without being saddled with life-altering debt. Excellent guide for parents as well. And I love that he said that because I agree. I think that if you are doing this for your student, you should all be going through at least some of this as a family so you're all on the same page of all of the different steps to take to maximize your college savings. Dom from Liberty University, who, sorry, I said Dom because he's my friend. He is a friend of mine, even though he went through this course. He said, "You inspired me to finish my degree quicker. I finished my sophomore year in 1 semester. I worked 3 part-time jobs and I still was able to do that and finish with an A." So if that's not a glowing testimony, I don't know what is. And I just wanted to finish with some frequently asked questions here that we get frequently. One is, how is this any different than any book about how to save money on college? And I think we covered essentially where we're going is that most of these books on how to save money on college, aren't about actually saving money on college. They're about saving money in college. And there's a big difference. Like we said, saving money on fees for a checking account or not having a car will save some money, but it doesn't help you get 50% or more on college. And even we've done research. One of the biggest, or I believe the biggest seller on how to save money on college is written by someone who didn't do it. They even said in the preface, "Hey, I wish I would have done these things." And while that certainly doesn't make it invalid, we think that it's a better approach to have a step-by-step, very detailed guide from someone who not only has done the research, but has actually done it themselves. And they know the in and outs, the step-by-step on how to do it, instead of the, "Hey, here's what I wish I would have done, but I didn't actually do myself." Another one we get asked is, when is the ideal time for me or my student to take the online course? And we've done some research here at Student Discount in College and Beyond, and we believe that around the 10th or 11th grade is the most ideal time, because this is a time when they're still trying to make the college decision. Where should I go? What should I study? In addition to, how can I save the most money? And so we feel this is the most applicable time period because a lot of the things covered in the online course relate to, hey, I'm in high school, how can I get ahead? Can I get any head start even before I start college? And also, how do I choose a school? How do I choose a major? And we feel anytime before that, it shouldn't be of too much importance. If you're in the 8th or 9th grade, college planning shouldn't exactly be the biggest priority for you. We don't feel like you've reached it yet, even though it should be in the back of your mind and something you're taking mental notes of. And if you're already in college, then it's definitely not too late, but also some of the material is distinctly applicable to somebody currently in high school. And so we feel that is the best time to take this course, which leads into another question we get commonly, which is it too late if I or my student is already in college? And no, it is not, as we already heard from Carson and reading his testimonial. He's in college and so much of it was still applicable. And there's a lot of information that if you're already in college, it's not too late. You're not missing out. You can still save big. But some of the information is distinctly applicable to high school students. So maybe just fast forward the first 2 or 3 modules until you get to the information related to people already in college. And finally, a question we get is, why does it cost $9.97? And is there any way to get a discount? And this is a great question. I love getting it because people are always asking, like, why would you pay $9.97 for a course? And I always ask them, why did you pay over $100,000 for some courses? And if there was a way to pay $9.97 to spend $50,000 or more or less on those courses, wouldn't you want to know about it? And that's exactly, that gets them thinking in a different light, which is, hey, like, I don't even think about it, but I'm paying $2,500 to take an English 101 class my freshman year. And I basically already took all this information when I was a junior in high school. And I'm not even thinking about the fact that I'm spending $2,500 on it. Why don't I spend $9.97 and find a way to not only take this class for, like we said, $89, but take a bunch of them for that? So if the $9.97 today can end up meaning a savings of $50,000 or more, why not? And another question we get is there a way to get a discount? Well, before today, I would say no, because I think this is still an excellent savings. But thanks to College and Beyond LLC in our partnership here, there is a way to get a discount, and here's how you can get it. All clients at College and Beyond LLC get $200 off the student discount online course. And all you have to do is enter the code CB200 at checkout to save. So what we believe to be the greatest deal in college, and trust me, there aren't many great deals when it comes to college, it just got even greater because of this partnership here and trying to change what we think is make the biggest change in college planning, which is people are paying too much and not getting enough. And we want to change that. So to learn more about the College and Beyond and Student Discount Online course, feel free to visit collegeandbeyondllc.com or studentdiscount.io to learn more. So the bottom line here through all of this, regardless of if you take this online course or not, is that the decisions you make regarding college will have a lifelong impact. And it's your choice whether that is for better or for worse. And if you want to know that you are doing everything in your power to do college right, then you need to enroll in the Student Discount Online course. So thank you for your interest. If anybody ever has any questions, feel free to reach out to College and Beyond LLC or Student Discount. But best of luck on your college journey.